And we hear about this still small voice that comes up, and we might think that it's like you're going to hear the voice of James Earl Jones, right? Ken, follow me. It's not. Maybe it is like that. Maybe it is like that for you. I'm not going to discount or put God in a box. Nobody puts baby in a corner. But I'm saying it's more likely to be, for me at least, my experience of that still small voice is my own thought. I've told you before that when I first came to this center, I walked in the door and I heard this thought say, you will be the minister here. Not I will be the minister here, but you will be the minister here. And that'll catch you. When something refers to you in the second person, you're like, what? So I'll tell you a story about intuition, or the still small voice. It happened last week, and I think, was it you I was telling you about? I was telling you about it, Amanda. Can't wait till you hear the rest of the story now. So I'm walking out of my office at home to come here to the center, and there's a $20 bill laying on my desk. And the thought came into my mind, grab that $20 bill, you're going to need to give it to someone. And I was like, no, okay. And I grabbed it, and I put it in my pocket, and I came here, and I was telling Amanda about it after service. I'm like, I got a $20 bill. I'm supposed to give it to somebody. I don't know who I'm supposed to give it to, whatever. So after service, I traditionally go grocery shopping, because we live up in the mountains. So I go grocery shopping, and I'm coming out of the grocery store, and there's a woman there, and she says, do you have any change? And I said, no. And I went to my car. And I sat there and I was like, I've got money I can give to this person. I've got $5. And I drove around and I said, here, and I handed her the $5, and she said, thank you, I love you. And I said, I love you too. And I got on the freeway and I started driving, and I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. That was the person. And I only gave her $5. So there's two things that happened here. There is that still small voice. And I did listen to that still small voice, and I took the money and I put it in my pocket. But I did not listen to that still small voice and give her the $20. There was a sense of lack within me, right? Because there's a law of circulation that what you put out, you will give back. And for some reason, I think, oh, I need to hang on to, I don't have enough to give. Right? So that's something that I needed to work on this week, and we're going to work on it a little bit today, right here in front of you all. But that is an example of that still small voice. Grab that $20, you're going to need to give it to somebody. Okay. And if I had not run into anybody that day, then okay. Then I didn't give it away. And when I realized that I didn't give the $20 away, I didn't think, Ken, you're the worst person, you're so terrible, you're awful. I didn't at all, but I recognized it as, hey, there's an idea of lack in you. Let's look at that. So what if what the still small voice wanted me to recognize was that there is a sense of lack in me? Thank you. Thank you, still small voice. So the phrase itself, it comes from 1 Kings in the Bible, and there's this great story where Elijah goes into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. People are always doing this 40 days and 40 nights thing. But he goes and he's sitting in a cave, and this voice says, go outside. And he goes outside, and there's this wind, and the wind is so huge that it shakes rocks and breaks rocks. And then there's an earthquake, and it's shaking the ground. And then there's fire. And it says, God was not in the wind. God was not in the earthquake. God was not in the fire. And when things got still and silent, there was a still small voice. And so it's not going to be, hey, Ken. It's not going to probably be the James Earl Jones voice. It's going to be that still small voice, that intuition, that knowing within us. And so Thomas Merton, is a Christian mystic. He says, the kings and the dictators and the mighty of the world accomplish their work with speeches and drums and brass and the thunder of bombers, but God works in silence. And so we need a certain level of stillness in our lives. And we have been talking about this for the last several weeks, right? That we need a spiritual practice. We need to, if we can, and we can, go into meditation, go into the stillness daily. If you think about it, you're willing to go to work for money for 8 hours a day. Can you go into stillness for 5 minutes to get all of the power that there is? I mean, it's worth it. But we go into that stillness. And maybe we do it in the morning, and maybe we do it in the evening, and maybe we do it both. But we make room for that still small voice. And we may wonder, what is the difference between, that still small voice and my ego, right? That voice that's always talking inside of me. And there's two things I will say about that. I think if you wonder, go into stillness, go into silence, and see how it makes you feel. When that still small voice says, you should chase that SOB down, and you should tell them they shouldn't have cut you off on the road, and you should get even with them. If you stop for a moment and go into stillness, you're going to feel that making you feel tense, and that's probably not the still small voice, right? Probably not the still small voice. But if that still small voice is telling you, let it go. Let it go. I bless that person. I hope they get where they're going. I know they're in a hurry. I love you. No sweat off my back. It's all good. If you stop and think, is that the still small voice? It's going to feel peaceful. It's going to feel joyful. It's going to feel loving. There's going to be harmony in it. And I think you can then trust that it is the still small voice. And when we do this, yes, Liz has a...
Meditation was yesterday at 3 o'clock.
Let me just, so the people online can hear us.
Yesterday at meditation, there was 6 people, and it's growing. So you guys are all welcome, whoever wants to meditate with us at 3 o'clock.
Yeah, 3 o'clock on Saturdays, we show up here for 30 minutes of meditation. And it's just great, if you can only do 5 minutes, then do 5 minutes and leave, whatever. But there's a power with group meditation as well. There is a power in that. And it's helpful to have friends and to come in, and sometimes, Dan Sharman has been leading it, and he can lead you through different kinds of meditation. And then you can say, well, you know what, this one works for me, or that one works for me. So there's, Saturdays we meet for that. And if you wanted to, if you thought, I don't have time to do that on Saturdays, I need to do it on a different day, talk to one of us. We'll figure out a way to be there with you if you want some help. Talk to one of the practitioners. Talk to just about anyone in this community. We'll find a way to be there with you if you want some help with that. So when you start to parse, is this or is this not, that still small voice, you get practice. And just like your spiritual practice goes, your awareness of that still small voice grows, to where you begin to walk out of your office and be like, nah, okay, I'll take it. Just in case, whatever. This morning on the way out of town, I thought you better stop and get gas before you get on the highway. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't believe that was the still small voice. If it was, sorry, because I just got on the highway and drove off, So, and then there are times when, like for me, when I heard, you will be the minister here, there is no doubt. There will be no doubt when that voice comes through to you. There will be no doubt whatsoever. And you will say, I know that. When I think about what is going to happen with this center, the growth that we're going to go through, there is no doubt. There is no doubt that the light is going to shine in this place, and it is going to bring people through these doors, and every one of these seats is going to be filled up, and we will have a second service on Sundays. There is no doubt about it. No doubt about it. I know that is what spirit guiding. So We talk sometimes about the stages or kingdoms of consciousness. First kingdom consciousness is that to me consciousness. It happens to me. I'm a victim, yada, yada. We all get into that every now and so often. The second is by me, where you begin to manifest. You begin to understand that you have a role in what goes on. And then the third kingdom of consciousness is through me, where you begin to realize this is God working through me. And this is typically where, in that third kingdom consciousness, you open up to that still small voice, right? And then the fourth kingdom consciousness is as me. And, there's not much to say about that one. You just simply are. It's an isness. You are one with God, and that's that. But when we get into meditation, and we get into stillness, and we make room for Spirit, for God, when we set ourselves aside, we are opening up to that third kingdom of consciousness of letting it come through me. And that is where we can begin to hear that voice. And so I would love for you to do that. So I think we'll leave it at that, and we'll just move right back into that space. We'll go right back into prayer. We'll go right back into that space where we recognize Spirit within us. That authority that each and every one of us has, that realization that God is right here, right now, that God is all that is, that one power and that one life, and that each and every one of us is united with that one life and that one power. I know I am unified with that one life and one power. I am that one life and that one power. It flows through me. It flows as me. And so I know that each and every one of us takes the time to go into stillness, to listen to that still small voice. I know that each and every one of us hears that still small voice, accepts the words and the guidance of that still small voice, listens for that intuition and acts on it. When the words are put in our mouth, we speak them out with no fear, because there is one power. Yes, there is so much going on out in the world right now that seems like power, this so-called power that we have given all of these things, but there is one true power, and so we need not be afraid to follow that guidance. And I know that we are not afraid. I know that any doubt and fear dissolves in this moment right here and right now, and we step forward shining lights. And I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for this community. I'm so grateful for these practitioners. I've said it before, I'll say it so many times. I am so grateful that God is God, that truth is true, that I am as I am. And so I release my word, knowing that it is done before I even spoke it. And together we confirm, and so it is.